Hi, I'm Mark from easylawnmowing.co.uk and this is the Neomow X robotic lawnmower from HOOKII. It's one of the world's first robotic lawnmowers to have LiDAR and camera guidance built into it. In this video, we're going to take a look at all its features and functions and we're going to give it a thorough test to see how well it performs. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this is the right robotic lawnmower for you and your lawn. Okay, so before we take this Neomow X out and test it out, we need to get it unboxed. So let's do that now. Let's see exactly what comes supplied in the kit and then we can go and test this mower out. All right, so let's jump in and let's get it unboxed. Okay, so I've got my Neomow X unboxed. So what do you actually get supplied in the kit? So naturally you're going to get the mower itself, and I will be telling you more about this robotic mower and why this one is super exciting to me, because it is the first LiDAR guided robotic mower that I am testing, and I really can't wait to see how this technology works, because this is the future of robotic mowing. So you're going to get this robotic mower itself, and I'll tell you more about that in the specifications. You get your power supply here. So I'm here in Europe, I have a European plug. If you're in the US, you'll get a US plug as well. So that's included, and you get a little tool set here as well. Cleaning brush, scraper, and even a little hook is provided there with a 3M sticky pad to put that up on your wall for cleaning your robotic mower periodically, which is a great touch from HOOKII there. You get your user guide naturally, you get your ground pegs included. And this is for securing your ground station down. Now there's two ways you can secure this base station, or this charging station down, is on the lawn using the pegs, or you are provided with the pads, the 3M sticky pads, double-sided, which go on the charging station that allow you to secure this to a hard surface, which is absolutely fantastic that you have that option to keep the charging station off of the lawn, because we all know if we put this on the lawn, grass is going to grow around it. The mower's never going to be able to cut around the charging station. So the ability to put this on a hard surface and being provided with a method of securing it to the hard surface is something that I have not seen on any robotic mower that I've tested, and I've tested many robotic mowers. You also get a spare set of blades included there as well, where you've actually got two sets of spare blades there and some spare screws provided as well. But naturally these are readily available, these robotic mower blades there. Okay, so and naturally you're getting this charging station as well included. So that's pretty much it. But the thing that I want you to notice is that there is no RTK station here. There's no RTK, there's no boundary wire. This mower is going to be using the LiDAR detector on the top here for its navigation, for mapping and for knowing where it is as well. And this is just something that's so exciting to me, to be able to test this technology. You also get this sheet here for unboxing, a quick start guide, really nice, clear, very well documented how to set this up, but it is super simple and you can have this set up within minutes. Really impressive here with this mower. So that's pretty much what you get in the kit. There doesn't look a lot here, but that's great because that's what makes this so simple for setting up. All right, so this is what you get supplied in the package with this Neomow X robotic mower. The specifications of this robotic mower and what makes it stand out from other robotic mowers that are currently on the market is the fact that its navigation system is LiDAR, which is lasers being fired out, and it essentially builds up a 3D map of your backyard or your front yard or wherever you're going to be using this robotic mower. That combined with the camera is what is used for the navigation. So there is no boundary wire, there's no RTK station, there's no beacons that you need to put around the lawn, and that's essentially why in the box all you have is the mower and the charging station. So this is going to be super simple to set up, and I'm super excited to see how well this LiDAR navigation system works in terms of edge cutting, in terms of obstacle avoidance, and how well it knows where it is within that 3D map, and that's going to be crucial to seeing how well this works. So I'm not going to be testing the mower out here on my lawn because it's just too simple. It's not what this mower is designed for. So I'm taking this to a neighbour's lawn where he's had a robotic lawnmower, an RTK robotic lawnmower that's had problems because he has lots of tree coverage. It's losing that GPS signal and it's ending up going off of the map and all these kind of issues. So that's why we're going to give this LiDAR guided robotic lawnmower a try in that really difficult terrain. Lots of obstacles, lots of tree coverage, lots of slopes, and we're just going to see how well it performs. It does have GPS, this robotic lawnmower, but that is simply for theft protection. So if this does get stolen, you can track this robotic lawnmower on the app. So essentially it has Wi-Fi, it has 4G, it has Bluetooth, and it has GPS. There's everything packed into this in terms of the technology, but we're not using GPS for any of the guidance, which is fantastic, especially under heavy tree coverage. Let me go over the specifications so that you know exactly what you're getting. So I've got the Pro version. So this is the Neomow X Pro, but you can also get a Neomow X version, not the Pro version. And the difference really is the fact that the battery is different in the mower. So it just essentially means that you can mow more. So I do have it written here, so I'm just going to read it so that I don't get it wrong. So the Neomow X mows up to 1 acre or 4,000 square meters. The Pro version that I have here mows up to 1.5 acres, which is 6,000 square meters. And essentially per charge, this is going to do 1,000 square meters per charge, which is absolutely incredible. And that's because it has a 17.5 amp hour battery in. With the Neomow X, it will mow 700 square meters per charge because that has a 13 amp hour battery in it. The charge time, or the minutes it will run per charge, on the Neomow X is 120 minutes per charge, and with the Neomow X Pro it's 180 minutes per charge, which is absolutely fantastic. So a 17.5 amp hour battery is in the Neomow X Pro, which is huge, and I've not seen that in any robotic lawnmower that I have tested. So in terms of deck size, this is a 28 centimeter or 11-inch deck, and that's a really good cut-in width, and that's why, combined with that 17.5 amp hour battery, this is able to cut that 1.5 acres, or this is designed for lawns up to 1.5 acres. So it's a huge area that this can mow. So in terms of obstacle avoidance, it has a camera on the front here, and it's going to use a combination of that camera and AI and also the LiDAR to do obstacle detection, and that we will be testing that out as well. You also have this front bumper which goes around the front of the mower as well, and you can see there that when anything it bumps into, it will also stop the mower. It will turn and go around the obstacle, but again we'll be testing all that out later in the video. So in terms of the actual deck itself, so it has an anti-clog deck. So I'm going to turn this over so that you can see the underside. As you can see here, this is not all-wheel drive. It's driven from these front wheels here, which have these really grippy wheels, and this is designed for slopes up to 24 degrees or 45%. But one thing to bear in mind, because this is an all-wheel drive, if that slope is going to be wet or that slope is going to have loose ground, then that angle of slope is going to be reduced with what this can cope with. So it's two-wheel drive and it's driven on these front wheels here. The other thing that's worth noting and is really impressive to see is your battery here, this huge 17.5 battery here, because remember I have the Pro version, can be removed by undoing these 4 screws here, or 5 screws, and then this battery can be taken out and replaced, which is so important because some robotic mowers, they have the battery buried deep inside the mower and they have to go back to the manufacturer if you want to replace that battery. So this is going to help with the longevity of this robotic mower. So in 3-4 years time, if you want to replace that battery because it's depleting, you can do that easily yourself, which is really great to see. So in terms of controlling the robotic mower, you have a control panel on the top here, which you can essentially turn the mower on, you can send it home and you can send it out to mow. But really the great functionality and the best functionality you're going to get is through the app. So if you download the HOOKII app, connect your robotic mower to that app, you're going to be able to set this on a schedule. You're going to be able to tell it how you want it to mow. Do you want it to just mow in straight lines? Do you want it to do a checkerboard pattern? You can adjust the height of this remotely. So you can see here, there's no dial on here for adjusting the height. It's all done through the app, and there's 4 different modes, and there's even custom modes as well that you can configure this robotic mower to mow on. So really flexible in terms of how you mow and when you mow with this robotic mower. Because the LiDAR system is 360 degrees and it's laser, this can be used at night as well, but just bear in mind that the camera obstacle avoidance is not going to work as well at night. So I would always recommend mowing during the day, but it is capable of mowing at night as well. You also have a rain sensor on the top here, which is great to see. So you can specify whether or not you want this to mow at night, mow in the rain or not. I would always suggest not mowing in the rain, but you can configure it. You also have a lovely LED light here. So the name of the mower lights up in front here. And that gives you indication whether there's errors. So red if there's an error, or it's lifted, or blue it goes green. So that's a really nice touch, and the mower looks fantastic as well. In terms of what you need in terms of connectivity, so as I mentioned, this is 4G capable. So you can control this over the 4G, but in terms of control, I'm talking about configuration and monitoring. Naturally, this can also be done over the Wi-Fi, but if you don't have Wi-Fi to your back or front yards where you're actually going to be using this, then you can use the 4G. There's also Bluetooth, so you can configure it over Bluetooth, but naturally you're going to need to be in that Bluetooth range for that. Okay, so in terms of the station, the charge station, just one thing to mention with this, and really great feature, is the fact that you don't have to have the charge station on the lawn. I mentioned this earlier, and that is great because you can have this inside a garage, where it goes inside. You even get the 3M double-sided tape to stick this down onto a hard surface. You can have it on the lawn, no problem. You get the ground screws, but the whole point is not to have any grass to cut around the charging station. So I would always recommend having this on a hard surface somewhere off of the lawn. So with this mower, you can create your zones. You can create your zones that you want mowed. You can create your no-go zones. You can create pathways between the zones as well, and you can also create a pathway or a channel back to the charge station, and that could be down a pathway. So in this garden, for example, I can have it cut my rear lawn. I can then have it come up the path, cut this lawn here, and then I can have it go out the front and cut the lawn at the front. So it's really flexible in terms of how you can configure this mower. Okay, so one other thing that's worth noting is with this type of guidance system, this LiDAR type guidance system, is the fact that it's going to mow systematically in straight lines. So not only will it go straight lines, it will do a checkerboard pattern, but you have control on how it mows. And this is fantastic because it's going to be mowing efficiently. It's not like some of the other camera guided robotic mowers that you can get that bounce around the lawn in a random pattern, and eventually they get round to cutting the lawn, but they are constantly going over lawn areas that they've already cut. This one won't. It knows where it is. It knows exactly where it is on the lawn, and that's how it mows systematically. The other great thing, if it doesn't need to go back and recharge, when it comes back out again, it will carry on where it left off as well. So really fantastic feature of this Neomow X robotic lawnmower. All right, so that's pretty much it in terms of the specification. So now let's go out, let's get this set up on my neighbour's lawn, and let's see how well it performs. If you would like to see a full review of this Neomow X robotic lawnmower from HOOKII, then head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. There's a comparison table there that shows you the differences between the different models, and also comparison tables between other brands of robotic lawnmower as well. There could be discount codes there, there's lots of helpful articles, and even a Q&A section there, so you can ask me anything with regard to this robotic lawnmower or any robotic lawnmower you're thinking of purchasing. So head on over now to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. We're now going to test this Neomow X out on my neighbour's lawn here. So as I mentioned earlier, I could have tested this on my lawn, but my lawn is flat, it's well defined, has no slopes, no obstacles, and it wouldn't be a good test to see how well this mower navigates with its 360 LiDAR system and its camera guidance as well. So that's the reason that I've come to my neighbour's lawn. We're going to position the charging station here on the lawn because we really just want to test out the navigation around the trees, and I'm going to walk you around in a minute and just show you what we're expecting this robotic mower to cope with. I'm also going to put a drone shot up as well and just show you where I have the loober cutting at the moment, and what we're expecting this Neomow to do. So in terms of the actual charging station, you don't have to have it on the lawn. As I mentioned, this could be on a path, and you can create a channel from your mowing areas to the charge station, but just for quickness we're putting it here on the lawn. So all I'm going to be using is these ground screws here just to screw the charge station down. So what I'll do now is I'm going to walk you around the area that we're going to cut, and again, as I mentioned, we're going to show you that aerial shot. So what we're going to do is, if you just pan around here, I'll show you where the loober's cutting. So you can see here that I have the loober cutting this area here, which is doing a fantastic job, but it's very, very simple. It's very, very open. There's not a lot of obstacles. There are a few trees that we've created no-go zones, and it works okay there. But when we had the loober working in the area where there's lots of trees, it was losing GPS signal, it was losing that RTK connection, and it was getting stuck and having issues, and that's why we've moved it out here, and it's doing a great job here, and you can see the quality of the lawn there looks fantastic. But what we're hoping with this mower, this Neomow X, that the 3D LiDAR system is going to cope better under the trees. Okay, so let me walk you around where we're going to be mowing. So we're going to be coming round here, and as you can see here, there's lots of trees, lots of bushes, and lots of things that the Neomow X is going to have to cope with. So if I just bring you around a little bit further, so we have an edge here, a wall, so we'll be seeing how well it cuts up close to this wall as well. Okay, lots of trees. There's also some stumps here, some roots of trees sticking out. So again, we're going to see how well it copes with that. We have this area here, which we're going to define as a no-go zone. We also have a mound here, and also these leaves here on the ground. So we're going to see whether or not it detects these as obstacles, these leaves, and how well it copes with the leaves as well. You can adjust the obstacle avoidance, that AI obstacle avoidance. So we're going to see whether or not we need to do that. There's a drop edge here as well onto this gravel. So the loober, occasionally two of the wheels were going over and it was getting beached there on the edge. So we're hoping that the LiDAR system is going to deal better with that edge there. We have a mound here. So again, we're going to be defining this hill, this mound, as a no-go zone. There's also an edge running along there on the driveway. So there's a gravel driveway, again with that drop. So we're going to again see how well this Neomow X deals with that. We're then going to come out into this area here. So again, lots of trees. There's a bench here as well. So we're going to see whether that LiDAR system, that 3D, is going to build a 3D map of this area, whether or not it will actually go under that bench and mow under the bench. Again, here we have lots of trees, and you can see here, again, we have a drop. So we're going to define these as no-go zones because, or actually what we'll do is we won't define these as no-go zones. We'll try to see whether the LiDAR picks this area up here and mows around it without us having to define it as a no-go zone. But if that doesn't work, then we will redefine all these trees here with these drops down into no-go zones. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So that's what we're hoping to cover. I will show you an aerial shot just to give you an idea of what we're covering. I believe this is going to be around 3,500–4,000 square meters, but remember the Pro version is 6,000 square meters, up to 6,000 square meters, and that's 1.5 of an acre. So it will be capable of doing more than this, but again, I'll show you on the app how much this has actually mowed once it's done. So the area that we're going to cover. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get the base station, the charging station screwed down, and then we'll be ready to go and set the mower up and map our area. So the first thing we need to do is to get our charging station secured down. So if you're putting this on a hard surface, you do get the 3M double-sided tape provided, which you can use just to put on the base of the charge station and stick that down to your hard surface. But because we're putting this on the lawn here, we've got our ground screws. So I'm just going to get this now screwed down, plugged in, and then I'm going to put the Neomow X on the charge station, and then we're going to get the firmware upgraded. So get the app installed, the Neomow app, so it's available for iOS and Android. Get it upgraded. So I've already upgraded mine, but I will show you that process on the screen on how you get the firmware upgraded, and that's the first thing you should do, because this mower will continually improve over time with lots of different updates. Okay, so in terms of where you position your charging station, it tells you in this quick start guide. So I'm not actually going to be using the user manual at all. I'm just going to be using this quick start guide because it's so simple to follow and it's so quick to set up this robotic mower. So if ever you feel I'm not going to have a robotic mower because they're complicated to set up, then don't be worried about it. It's super simple to set up these robotic mowers. You don't need a professional to come in and do it for you. Okay, so it tells you here on the quick start guide about where you can position, but essentially what you need to do is leave 50 centimeters on each side of the charge station and 2-meter clearance in front of the charge station, and that's it. And that's regardless of whether you're putting it on the grass or you're putting it on a hard surface and creating a channel to it. It does also need to be on a level surface as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is just get this screwed down, and then we can start getting the app on and we can start testing the mower. So all you do is just put your ground screws in and screw them down. You're provided with the Allen key here, which goes in and it just screws down and secures the ground station down. Okay, and that's it. That's that first one done. So what I'll do is I'll get the other ones in and then I'll come back and show you what I'm doing on my phone. But there are a couple of little things that I wanted to just go over with you, a couple of little gotchas that caught me out. So the first thing is with the ground screws and the Allen key. What I had to do, I was screwing them down into the ground. The ground was very hard, and then this Allen key started slipping inside the screw head and it was chewing the screw head up, because remember, these are only plastic. So what I did to get round that problem is I used a screwdriver and a hammer, and I essentially just hammered that screwdriver down, wriggled it around like so, and then that just enabled the ground screw then to screw in nicely without chewing it up. So that's just a little tip there, just to ensure that you keep your ground screws from chewing up on the ends there using the metal Allen key, because it's metal against plastic. And that's one of the issues I had. So I lost one of the ground screws because I was just trying to go into too hard a ground. The other issue that I had was with charging. So if you're going to put this charge station on a path, you're not going to have this issue because it's completely flat. But the issue I had with the charge station here is the points on the front of the mower weren't making contact with the points here, and it wasn't charging, even though to me this looked level. So I spoke to HOOKII, I contacted their support, and within a couple of hours I had a really great response from them. So their support is really effective. And essentially what they're saying is they understand that there is an issue with the ground station, with the charging station. The room for error, the margin of error with it is too small. So if your grass is just a little bit lower or a little bit higher than this point here, the contacts don't make contact, and that's a real issue. So what I have done here is I have put these pieces of plastic here to get a nice level surface, and this mower now goes on and charges perfectly. So what HOOKII have said to me is that they are going to come out with an extension plate for people who already have this charger, and the chargers going forward are going to be redesigned so that the mower sits completely on a plastic base like this is, essentially like this extra plastic here for the wheels to sit on, and that's going to resolve the problem. So that's one issue that I had, but as I say, if this is going on a hard surface, a flat surface, or I put some tiles down here, some concrete tiles, I'm not going to have that problem. But I did have that issue, but they've reached back to me, and they have told me that they are going to correct that issue or address that issue with this charging station. So that's pretty much it in terms of the installation. So the ground station or the charging station is screwed down. The mower is on the charge station and charging, which is now 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you just to show you what I'm doing in terms of how you set this up and how you configure it. Okay, so as you can see here, I've just added the robotic mower or the Neomow X to my app. So you download the app, iOS or Android, and you just add the mower to it. So it will find it over Bluetooth. Then you just simply connect the mower to your Wi-Fi. This also comes with 1 year free 4G included. So yes, this will also connect over 4G as well. So I've just connected it to the Wi-Fi. It has that 4G connection. And when you're close to the robotic mower, you have the Bluetooth as well, which is fantastic. Okay, so what we now need to do is get the firmware updated. Make sure you get that firmware updated, because this mower will develop over time. It will get added functionality, added problem fixes. So all we now need to do is click the connect button there, the blue button, as you can see, and then it will just detect that I don't have a map. So all I'm going to do now is just map my area, and it really is that simple. So I'm just going to click the add button, and then I'm going to go into map management, and then the screen turns the other way. So I'm getting a little bit of help here, a little bit of guide on how to use it. But all I need to do is just simply click the add map element button at the bottom there. And then what will happen is it will ask me what I want to create. So let's just wait for that to come up. Okay, so I can hear my mower now starting, so it's making a whirring noise. Now that whirring noise is the LiDAR. It's physically spinning and creating a 3D map, 360 3D map of the area. Really incredible technology at this price point. And this is the future of robotic mowers. LiDAR is going to be the future of robotic mowers. We went from perimeter wires to cameras to RTK. LiDAR with a camera is now the next level. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I get there the option to create a mowing area, a no-go zone, a passage and a recharge path. So your mowing area is going to be your zones that you want to mow, and you can have multiple zones, cutting at different times, cutting at different heights, which is fantastic. No-go zone is to go around anything that you want the mower not to mow. Self-explanatory. Passage is a passage between the different zones that you've created, and the recharge path is where you're going to get the mower to go back onto the charge station. So that charge station can be somewhere completely different. It doesn't have to be in one of the zones, which again is fantastic. This can go on a path, down the side of the shed on a path, for example, off of the grass, but I've just got it here on the lawn at the moment just to test it. So we're getting a little bit of help here because this is the first time that I've used it. So I'm just going to go through that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify a mowing area. So we want a mowing area. Okay, so use the manual remote control keyboard to move the machine forward and backwards. So it's guiding me through every step of the way here on the app, showing me what I need to do. So as far as I know, I don't think there's an auto mapping feature on this one like some of the other mowers to go around an auto map, but I would never auto map anyway. I would always manually map your first time. Remember, it's only once, and then you're going to have months and months and months of this mowing. So by manually mapping, you're going to get the accuracy you want. You're going to get it exactly how you want it. Okay, the mower will come off of its charging station automatically, and that was just getting it ready now for mapping the lawn area. Okay, and now all I need to do is to just drive the mower around the area that I want to map. So I'll do that now, and I'll come back and show you when that's done. Okay, so that's our lawn map there, and as you can see there is 2,577 square meters. This will do up to 6,000 square meters. So what I will do, once I've tested it on this area here that I've just mapped, I'm going to expand that out to a wider area, which you can do by editing the map, which is fantastic. So you could see there, once I'd finished creating the map, now because I've gone around my charge station is outside of the map or the zone that I've just created. So therefore I had to create that channel from the zone. So what you need to do is just drive the mower into the zone, somewhere out onto the grass there, create that recharge path, and then drive it back to the charge station, and it creates that path. I'll show you this on the screen now so that you can see what I did on the app. So that's it. We've got our zone created, our area 1 I've called it. We've got the path created from the charge station. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much it in terms of how simple this is to set up. So all we need to do now is to create those 2 no-go zones that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So let's go over now and I'll show you how to create no-go zones. Okay, so in order to create a no-go zone, I'm going to show you how to do that now. So essentially you click the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of the app, you go to Map Management, and you hit in the top right hand corner where it says Start Editing. You click Start Editing. You can see there that the mower automatically comes off of the charge station. Okay, and then what we want to create, so I could now go off and create another zone, another mowing area and no-go zone, but we want a no-go zone. So I'm going to click the no-go zone button, like so, click no-go zone. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is drive the mower over to the area that I want to create the no-go zone, and then on the app here I will click Start Mapping. So let's do that now. Okay, so I've driven the mower now, the Neomow, to the area that I want to create the no-go zone. So I just want to create a no-go zone around this area here. With single trees, as we have over here, I'm not going to create that tree as a no-go zone. I'm just essentially going to let the Neomow deal with the trees, and there's lots of standalone trees here that I'm not going to define as no-go zones, but this area I don't really want it to go into, so I'm going to create a no-go zone area around here. Okay, so I've got it at the start position now, so all I need to do on the app is click Start Mapping and essentially just drive the mower, just as you did when you were mapping the lawn, around the area that you don't want it to mow. Okay, so you can essentially see there on the map that I've created this circle, which is my no-go zone. I then tick the button to confirm that that is my no-go zone. So you can name it, but I'm just going to call it no-go 1. But you can name specific areas if you want to do that. Okay, so that's saving, and that's it. So I have my first no-go zone. So all you need to do now is go around to your lawn and map out those areas, create those no-go zones that you want the mower to exclude. Okay, so what I'll do then is I've got another couple to do. I'll go and finish those, and then we'll set the mower out to mow and we'll see how well it performs. Okay, so we're ready to set the Neomow X out now to mow what I've defined as my first lawn, but I just want to go through some of the settings for you. So under manual, that would just allow you to manually control the robotic mower, but the next setting there is mower settings. So I'm just going to go into that and just show you what you can do here. So you have all zones or customized zones. So if I go into all zones and I edit that, if I have 5 zones, 2 zones, 3 zones, those settings will apply to all of those mowing zones. But I just want to just show you under customized zone. So under customized zone, I can now go in and edit the different areas. So I just created area 1, but if I have area 2, I can go in and edit specific settings. So I may want my area 1 or my zone 1 to have slightly longer grass than my zone 2, and so on. And I want to have different settings on different zones, and that's where you would do that. So you just, if you click the little edit button there, you can see there you have all of your settings, your mower height from your 30 to your 85 millimeters, your mowing angle, which you can change as well. So at the moment it's just on a primary angle, but if I click that little button there, I can decide what angle I want it, minus 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So I'm going to want this to follow probably the lines of what the louver is doing here. the Motion robotic mower, I'm going to want to keep those nice straight lines. So if I just pan around here, you can see here you've got these nice stripes here, so I'm going to have a continuation of those stripes with the Neomow X, and that's where you would do that in these settings here. The other settings you have, so let me just turn that off here, is your obstacle avoidance. You can adjust your obstacle avoidance here. So if you're having issues with the obstacle avoidance, you can adjust that here. Your cutter rotation head speed, I'm just going to leave that in the middle, but yes, you can adjust the speed of the blade on here as well. But I think a middle speed is going to be absolutely fine. So as I mentioned, you can set that now for your different zones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this out on a normal mow. So I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to click the start button. So, actually, before I do that, there's your schedule button. So if you click on the schedule, so I'm not going to have anything scheduled at the moment, but I will schedule this. So I will probably schedule this to go out every other day. And you can see there, you can set dates, times and days of week. Really straightforward. And as you can see underneath, I can apply that schedule to all zones, or I can apply that schedule to just the area one, which is the map that I just created. So really, really flexible in terms of how when your zones are mowed and how they're mowed as well. Not all robotic mowers will allow you to do that. The Neomow X does allow that. And remember, this is going to continue to improve as well with firmware updates and also app updates as well. So I don't know whether you could just hear there that the mower has now gone quiet. So this mower, as I mentioned, uses LiDAR, and essentially that's a spinning laser which is going around building up that map, that 3D map of your obstacles, your lawn, and that kind of thing. So when it's been on the charge station for 5 minutes, around 5 minutes, then that motor will stop and it goes quiet. Okay, so if you get this and you can hear it like a noise, that's normal. That's the LiDAR spinning around inside here and building up that 360-degree 3D map of your lawn. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it. There's lots of other settings in here that I'm sure you'll be able to discover yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the start button. I'm going to select the area, so I only have the one area. Save. Okay, and the mower should then come off of the charge station and off it goes to start mowing. So what I can do also is, okay, so the LiDAR is now spinning up and off it goes. So at this stage, I can still go into the settings and adjust the settings, adjust the cutting height, but I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. Okay, so what I can do here is I can pause the mower if I want to pause it. Let's say we're doing something on the lawn and we don't want it cutting. So you can hear the blade there spinning up. Okay, and it's going to work out the optimum place to start mowing, the most efficient place to start mowing, where it can mow most of the lawn on a single charge. And you can see there it's going really close up to the side of the edge there. So the mower is not cutting at the moment, it's just getting into position, it's getting into that start position where it believes is going to be the most optimum position to mow. Okay, so what it seems to be doing is it hasn't actually started cutting yet. It seems to be making its way over to this side of the lawn where I think it will start cutting over this point here. So let's just follow it and we can see what it's actually doing and where it's going to start mowing. But even while it's navigating to its start position, you could see there that it knew this was a no-go zone and it avoided it and it went round it really, really nicely. Okay, so it's still making its way over. Okay, the blade has kicked in now. And as you can see here, we're now mowing the lawn. And it's making a really nice cut there. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. So it's actually a little bit low. So what I'm going to do is just bring the blade up a little bit. Just going to bring it up to 50. Okay, so what it's actually doing, if we look on the map here, you can see here that it's now starting to mow in this corner. So it will now turn here and gradually work its way out, which is really good. So I'm going to get the stripes going along this way, so that should turn in a moment and come back, and there it goes. So really, really efficient there. So I'm just going to zoom in on the map so that you can see why it's come over here and why it's actually started here. So it's going to start here, work its way out, and then it will come around at the end and cut this edge and do an edge cut, which is really fantastic. So far so good. Really cutting very nicely. But what's going to be really interesting to see is how well it deals with this tree here. So remember that this tree here hasn't been defined as a no-go zone. It's just going to be using its sensor there to pick that tree up and avoid it, hopefully. But we'll see that in a moment when it comes past the tree. Okay, so we're heading towards a tree now. So let's see what the Neomow does with the tree. So remember, this hasn't been defined as a no-go zone. You can see here it's cutting the grass really nicely. And that's gone around that tree absolutely beautifully. So it didn't require its front bumper sensor there. It saw the tree and it went round it. So we're coming up to another tree now. So let's see how well it deals with that. So this LiDAR system seems to be doing really well. And we have a lot of tree coverage here, remember. So the RTK struggled here. To get an RTK signal here was a real struggle. Okay, you can see there it's gone around the tree again really, really nicely. And that's that LiDAR system, that laser system, building a 3D map of your area and your obstacles. Okay, so when it comes back now, it's going to be head on with this tree. So let's see what it does, whether it goes round it. I mean, head on to a tree now. Let's see what the HOOKII Neomow decides to do. Wow, very impressed with that. Very impressive. Okay, so it's gone completely round the tree. Fantastic. Okay, we've got another tree here. So this is a real head-on with a tree. Let's see whether the obstacle avoidance works, and it does really nicely. And it's going nice and close up to the obstacle as well, so that's going to mean less trimming to do. And it comes back in and carries on. Really, really impressive. Okay, so far so good. The Neomow X is doing a fantastic job, but it is just about to rain. So what I'll do is I will carry on filming tomorrow. I'll come back and show you exactly how well this has done. So remember, this Neomow X does have a rain sensor on it, so it will go back by itself. So I'm just going to leave it now. I'm going to go in, pack the camera equipment away, and just leave the Neomow doing its thing, and it will just go back to the charge station when the rain starts. So what I'll do is I will come back tomorrow and carry on filming and just show you exactly how it's done. But you can see there just how nicely it's cut. So if you see any tracks here, this is because the grass is long, and essentially what this is it's just cut grass, long cut grass on the floor there, and that's what those tracks are. It's not missed anything. It really is just very long grass. If I can come down and just show you that. So it looks like they're tracks, but they're not, of missed grass, but it isn't. It's just essentially the cut grass there. So it's doing an absolutely fantastic job at the moment. As you can see there, it's going around the obstacles really nicely. So we're just coming up to another tree here, but I think it's going to be able to avoid that. But what I will need to do is just stop now because of the rain, and I will come back tomorrow, carry on filming and show you the results and any issues that I find with this Neomow. You can see they're just gone around the tree, just giving it some clearance. Really fantastic. I'm so impressed up to now. But as I say, we'll come back tomorrow and see how it does with the whole job. Okay, so last night the mower was mowing perfectly fine up the top here. It came over to this area to start mowing this area. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't define these trees here as no-go zones. So I don't know whether it's because it was mowing at night, it didn't see this, this bed, if you like, that goes around this tree, and it's gone in and it's got stuck. So there is a camera as well on front of the Neomow X, and as well as the LiDAR. So maybe if this was mowing during the day, it would see this, but I think it's going to be just safer for me to define these as no-go zones. So there's only 5 or 6 trees here that I need to define. So what I'll do is I'll get this back on the charging station. I'll define these as no-go zones, and then I'll set the mower out again. So that's just something to bear in mind, that yes, it can detect these trees here, but it can't seem to detect the bed around the tree. So define areas like that as no-go zones. Okay, so let's get this back on the charge station, get it charged up, and then what I'll do is I'll define these as no-go zones, and then we'll come back and see how well it's doing. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to let the Neomow X come back and try these trees again, but now it's daytime. So let's see whether there's any difference. You can see it just coming around the corner now. So it's just coming back to finish this area where it got stuck last night in one of these beds. So what we'll do is we'll let it carry on, and if it goes down into the bed again and gets stuck, then what I'll do is I will map these out as no-go zones, these trees that you can see around here. Okay, so it's just making its way back now. So there's no blade running at this point. It's just simply getting back to the position at which it left off last night. Okay, so it's just repositioning itself where it finished last night. So just waiting for that blade to start up. Okay, so already you could see there that it's essentially gone down into the bed again. So it did manage to get itself out, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the mowing. It's just going to come back. So we'll give it one more chance. So it's going to come back now, and we'll see whether it goes down into this bed here or whether it avoids it. But it did go back down again, and that's in daylight. So obviously these are going to need to be defined as no-go zones. So let's just give it one more chance. So I'm just going to come out the way so I don't interfere. Okay, so you can see there it's gone down into the bed, which is really no good. Yes, it has come out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the mowing now, and I'm going to redefine these as no-go zones. I'll start the mower going again, and then we'll revisit, and I'll just recap on the success. But so far it's been absolutely incredible. There's loads of trees up the back there that it's been able to deal with, but it just can't deal with these beds here. So you can see there it's going down into the ditch. Okay, and it's just a matter of time before it gets stuck in here. Okay, so I'll map these as no-go zones, and I'll come back and show you when that's done. Okay, so that's it. So I'm just going to show you on my screen now where I've mapped the trees. So you can see the little red spots there, and that's just no-go areas around these trees here. So I think we've solved that problem. So what I'm going to do now is I can't continue the task where I left off because of having to do this mapping. So what I'm going to have to do now is just start a fresh mow. So what I'll do is I'll set this out on a mow, and then we'll come back tomorrow and have a look how well it's done, and I'll let you know of any other issues that I encounter. But so far so good, it's doing a fantastic job. If you would like to see a full review of this Neomow X robotic lawnmower from HOOKII, then head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. There's a comparison table there that shows you the differences between the different models, and also comparison tables between other brands of robotic lawnmower as well. There could be discount codes there. There's lots of helpful articles and even a Q&A section there. So you can ask me anything with regard to this robotic lawnmower or any robotic lawnmower you're thinking of purchasing. So head on over now to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. So we're going to try the obstacle avoidance now on the Neomow, but first of all, I just wanted to, we've got some different things here that I'm going to put in front, but I just wanted to show you the settings quickly. So if I go into the settings of the mower, so I'm just going to share my screen so that I can show you what I'm doing. So if I go under device settings there, you can see there that I have the visual obstacle avoidance switched on. So visual obstacle avoidance is on. So let's go and give it a try. So what I'm going to do first of all is put a ball in front of the mower. Okay, and you can see there that it's picked the ball up really nicely and it's working its way around. Okay, and it just carries on its path. Okay, so let me now just get something a little bit smaller. I'm just going to try, let's say, this children's toy here. And let's see. Okay, so it's detected the toy. Okay, so I'm going to try this shoe now. Let's pop that shoe in front of it. Okay, and it's navigated around the shoe really nicely. So that's the combination of the LiDAR and having the camera obstacle avoidance turned on. So you can see that it picked up the ball, the shoe, and also the small child's toy on the lawn. Okay, so that's the test of the obstacle avoidance with this Neomow X. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some of the other settings quickly, just to go over some of the settings. So if we go into the mower itself, click the three dots in the top right, go to device, oh, that's device sharing, that's where I've shared it with my neighbor. So device settings, so you've got there work on rainy days, that's self-explanatory. If you want it to mow in the rain, turn that on. Patch mowing, you've got there visual obstacle avoidance. I would advise having that on, so you could see there how well the obstacle avoidance worked. Crossing route, so this can take a direct path across your lawn to go back to the charging station, but that just leaves a line going across. I have it on going around the edge. I prefer it to go around the perimeter and make its way back to the charge station. If we work down, you've got manual task priority. So if it's schedule mowing and you go in and do a manual task, the manual task would take precedence. That can be adjusted there. And you've got obstacle avoidance around the perimeter as well. You can turn that off. I leave that on. The only other option you have there at the bottom is the HOOKII indicator, and that's the lights at the front of the mower. So you may want those turned off at night. So you just flick that switch there and you can set a start and end time when the lights are on, which is really nice. So you've got night adaptation there. So that's a really good feature because a lot of people, that light at night can be quite bright, and if you just want complete darkness in your backyard or your front yard or where this is mowing, you can simply just turn it off, or you can have it off completely, or you can just have it off at night at certain times, which is really nice. Okay, so that's just a quick whistle tour of the actual settings that you have for this mower. So we've had the Neomow X now running for a few days, so let me just take you around and show you what a fantastic job it's done as well, and I'll show you that tree coverage. So I don't think we would have got these results with a GPS guided or RTK guided mower. That the LiDAR with the camera has worked really nicely. So let me take you around and just show you what we've done. So what we decided to do, because this is at my neighbour's house, he didn't want the lines going this way. He wanted them to be running in the same direction as the louver. So what we did is we adjusted the angle of the job, and you can see the lines there. So they match the lines of the louver, which are running this way, and it's just a continuation now of those lines. And I think you'll agree it's done an absolute fantastic job at cutting the lawn. So there's been very little intervention needed with the mower. The only intervention that we've had to do was on that second day when the mower got stuck in the flower bed, but we've defined those beds now as no-go zones, and it's been running really nicely. Okay, so let me take you around and just show you quickly what it's done. So the thing that really impressed me is not just the cut quality, but the guidance, how well the guidance works under this tree coverage here. So for example, if I show you this gap here, so remember these bushes here, they weren't defined as no-go zones. It's just worked it out itself. And you can see this narrow passage through here. And you can see there that the Neomow X has gone through that passage and cut there really nicely. So it hasn't gone through that passage there, so perhaps that is a little bit narrow, but you can see here this narrow passage is gone through and cut really nice. So it's just worked this out itself. It's gone around, it's avoided the hedges, and it's cut the grass really nicely. So if we come out to this area here, this area, it's cut nicely all over here, looking really good cut. This was cut at 50 millimeters, so we're going to leave it at 50 because I think that really just keeps the grass at a nice length, keeps it healthy. Again, it's gone nicely over here around these trees. It's sorted all that out itself. That hasn't been a no-go zone. Cut really nicely across the wall here. So I didn't map it right up to the wall, but you can see there that's roughly the gap that it's left on the wall. So there will be some trimming to do. There always is with robotic lawnmowers, unless of course it can go over the edge and cut over the edge. Okay, so the no-go zone worked really well. It completely avoided this area. Again, the trees, no problem at all there. Okay, and then just showing you this edge here. So you can see here, it's pretty much cut the lawn up to that much. It's left that much of the edge. So the previous RTK mower, the guidance was sometimes off, and one wheel would go over on the side here and it would get beached and we'd have to come and rescue it. The Neomow so far up to now has avoided that, so the guidance seems to be more accurate. That LiDAR guidance with that camera seems to be more accurate than the RTK because it hasn't got beached, it hasn't gone over the edge, and it's keeping nice and close to that edge as well. Yes, I probably could have mapped it closer to the edge as well, so I may well try that because it seems to be accurate. It seems to be following exactly the path that I mapped the lawn to. Okay, so if we come around here, you're going to just see what a fantastic job it's done of this area. It just looks absolutely stunning. So this was the area initially that we had some problems with the small trees. But again, I just want to show you just what a great job it's done. So it's dealt with the bench nicely. It's gone round the bench, it's gone round the obstacles. Again, just working it out itself, which is fantastic. So if you come around this way, I'll just show you the stripes, because again, we've got the stripes running this way up the lawn. And this was the area that we had the issue with the Neomow going down into the bed. So you can see here that now we've defined them as no-go areas. There is going to be a little bit of trimming to do around here. You can see this longer grass here. But generally it's done a fantastic job. Yes, I could maybe try and map in a little bit closer, but I'm happy with that. That's a little bit of trimming that needs to be done. 99% of the lawn has been cut, and it's been cut beautifully with little or no user intervention. So no user intervention really once we've got this bed sorted out. So really impressed. Absolutely fantastic, this Neomow X. Okay, so as with all my reviews and any products that I test, I always go over the pros and cons so that you know exactly what you're getting with this robotic lawnmower. So let's do the cons first. So the first thing is that charging station. If you're putting this on a flat surface, absolutely no problem. If you're not, if you're putting it on your lawn, you have to get it almost 100% level. Otherwise, those contacts on the front are not going to make contact with the robotic mower and it's not going to charge. And that's the reason I've put these plastic sheets here to level it out so that the contacts, it makes contact with the mower. Now, I have spoken to HOOKII, as I mentioned earlier in the video, and they are going to address that issue. So that may well not be an issue going forward, but it's worth checking. Again, head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website and I will keep that up to date with regard to that issue. So they have told me that for existing owners, they're going to release a plate that goes into the front, and going forward they're going to redesign the base station so that it sits completely on that base station, so you're not having that very small error of a margin of error there on the robotic mower. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that this isn't four-wheel drive, it's two-wheel drive. Yes, it's capable of handling slopes up to 45%, but if that slope is loose material, I know it should be lawn, but if it's wet slightly, then it's not going to be able to cope with that kind of slope because of being two-wheel drive only. So that's just something to bear in mind. It's not four-wheel drive like some of the other models. Okay, the other thing is that the app does lack some features that some of the other more developed robotic lawnmowers have. But having said that, so for example, the ability to start a mow at a certain percentage going forward. So some mowers allow you to start. So if I had an issue with this mower and it stopped and it was like 90% through, and I corrected the issue, I may well have to restart the mow again from the beginning, where some mowers will allow you to jump straight to that 90%. It's just little things like that, but that will come, and that's why it's important to keep this up to date in terms of the app and the firmware. So over the coming months, this will develop in terms of its functionality. So they're really just the cons that I could think of with this mower. So what about the pros? So the pros for me, and the big one, is the guidance, this LiDAR guidance. And I really do feel that this is the future of robotic mowers. So if we come back in 3-4 years time, I think all good robotic lawnmowers are going to be guided by LiDAR, and also a camera backup as well, which this one has already. So that's what this mower mainly has going for it, and that's that navigation system, and it's worked really well here in lots of tree coverage. And it hasn't got stuck once, apart from that bit at the beginning, which I've dealt with by creating a no-go zone. But navigating under the trees, really, really fantastic. So you're not relying on boundary wires, you're not relying on RTK stations, you're not required to get GPS signals or put beacons around your lawn. It just deals with it and it just gets on with it, and that's what this mower is all about. So the other great thing about this mower is its simplicity. It is so simple to set up, so don't ever be put off purchasing directly a robotic lawnmower and setting it up yourself. It's great fun, you're going to love it, and with this mower it is super simple. Plug the charging station in, put the mower on, charge it up, map the lawn, and you're good to go. That is essentially it, and that's what you want from a robotic mower. You want simplicity, you want reliability, and that's what this has given so far. But as I say, please head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website, where there's a full review of this Neomow X, and I will keep that up to date with any issues that I discover long term. So in terms of build quality, for example, yes, this has been running for 4 or 5 days, but how will it be in 6 months, a year's time? How will the quality, the build quality, stand up to mowing pretty much every day? So please head on over to the website there, and you will get updates. I'll keep that updated with progress. So the other great thing with this is I've set this up on my neighbour's lawn. It's going to be left here now, mowing to the end of the season. So all I did was he installed the app, and I was able just to transfer all of the settings, all of the mapping straight over to him, and now he has that on his phone. He can now take this mower over and manage it on a day-to-day basis. Another really nice feature of that. So I was able to set this up, transfer it over, so you do have the ability there to share it with friends or family, to maintain the mower going forward and monitor the mower going forwards, which is a really nice touch. So that's pretty much it. This is really got a lot going for it, this Neomow X. Remember, you have the Pro version that I have here, which has that bigger 17.5 amp hour battery, or you have the standard version, the Neomow X version, which will mow slightly less area. So just make sure you get the one that suits your particular circumstances. Okay, so that's pretty much it in terms of this review for the Neomow X robotic mower. Okay, so I hope you found this review of the Neomow X useful. Please head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website, because there I will have a full review of this Neomow, and I will keep it up to date. So if I discover any issues going forward, because it is now going to be working here full time, I will put it there on the blog post so that you can see there if there's been any ongoing issues with it. But so far it's been really good, and it comes really highly recommended, this robotic mower. Also over on the website there will be a comparison table between the Neomow X and the Neomow X Pro so that you can see the differences between the two. If there's any discount codes, and sometimes I do get exclusive discount codes for robotic lawnmowers, head on over there and see whether I've got any discounts for you as well. There's also a Q&A section there as well, where you can ask me any questions about this robotic lawnmower or any other robotic lawnmower, and I'll normally get back to you on the same day. So please head on over there before you purchase this robotic mower. Okay, so I hope you found this review useful of this robotic mower. If you did, could I please ask that you click the thumbs up button for me? It'd be much appreciated. Please click that thumbs up button, and why not subscribe to my channel as well? You will need to click the bell icon if you want to get notifications of any future videos that I do, and I will be doing a follow-up video of this Neomow X at some point in the future, probably in around a month's time, to see how well it's been performing. Okay, so as I say, a full review over on the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. Head on over there now. Thanks very much for watching this review, and I'll see you in the next one.